Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the battle of the right and left brain. In this corner, we have the right brain. And in this corner, we have the left brain. Now let the battle between the right and the left brain begin. The right brain is down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who will win?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Sing it! Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
I really, really love children's art. I love to watch them making the art. I love to see, maybe more than anything, their intense concentration on what they're doing. They are just into the work, putting that brush into the paint and going with it. And unfortunately, when they become a little older, they begin to be self-critical, and they don't like what they're doing. Flower doesn't look like a flower, this doesn't look like a house, a tree doesn't look like a tree, or they'll say, show me how to make a tree. Well, I, as an artist, wouldn't think of showing a child how to make his own tree. He or she has to make their own creation. Just empty your mind. Take that brush, put it in the paint just as the child does, and go with it.
Because we have two hemispheres of the brain. The left brain, which is about words and this world reality and, you know, the perception of this reality. We have the right brain, which is where you get creativity, inspiration, and connection. And then you've got this corpus callosum, which connects the two. First of all, we use a fraction of our brains. Why is that? And the other thing is that what the system does is it turns out left brain prisoners. They run the system. And it does it by putting information through schools and colleges and universities into the left brain, which it then says at time of an exam, give me all that back. And if you tell me what I've told you well enough to believe, then you'll pass the exam and you'll be very successful. Anyone that takes that information into the right brain and puts their spin on it, or questions it, or sees through it, and puts that in the exam, they are perceived as a disruptive influence in the classroom.
Over the years, I saw, as I worked in the school system, how children were not given enough arts, and they downplayed the importance of visual art and all the other arts. One of the things I did was show people how not just drawing from the right brain or the left brain, but the whole brain, and to draw from the unconscious.
For 26 years, I worked for the Department of Education as a school psychologist. The job was tremendously gratifying because I was able to work one-on-one with individual students. I was able to see the changes that my interventions affected in the children. After 26 years, the psychologists in my program were reassigned to educational placement units. I found myself sitting in front of a computer for most of the day, every day of the week. Thank goodness I was able to retire.
The alternate school that I attended was based on the philosophy of John Dewey and was taught by Don Oscar Beck. John Dewey was a passionate advocate for teaching children to think creatively as a base for human growth. Don Oscar Beck, as my teacher, gave me a special love of choreography and of learning. School became an adventure and a challenge.
Elaine was an angel, and as an angel, she found it difficult to live in this harsh world.
There are two sides of the brain, the left side and the right side. Let's look at the left side first. The left side of the brain has logic. Control. And strategy.
Checkmate.
Now let's look at the right side of the brain. The right side of the brain has creativity.
I look fabulous.
Passion. And music. So as you can see, each side of the brain is equally as important. And when the two sides are combined, they create a powerful tool you can use from day to day.
The turn that education is taking, the politicization of education, education run by politicians and business people rather than by educators. I think we need to leave education to educators rather than to politicians and to business people.
There's a reason education sucks, because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The big, the wealthy, the real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. They're irrelevant. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest.
And what are you going to be when you grow up? My teachers in school encouraged me and helped me to decide. I was picked as one of the 3 little maids from school, are we? Now I was going to be in the theater.
Everything is a source of fun. Nobody's safe, for we care for none. Life is a joke that has just begun. 3 little mates from school.
In my elocution class, I picked the poet Paul Dunbar. Now I was going to be a poet. Who's that knocking at the door? Why, Ike Johnson, yes, for sure. Come on, Ike, I'm mighty glad you came down. I thought you was mad at me about the other night and was staying away for spite. Say now, were you mad at me for true when I kinda laughed at you? Oh, speak up, Ike, and express yourself. When we played Greek games and I did the maypole dance, I knew I was going to be a dancer. And what are you having for lunch today?
We're having delicious, genetically modified food on a bagel.
I'm having a pink slime sandwich on white bread. Delicious poison in the food.
Bon appetit. The president of McDonald's says if there's a request for broccoli on the menu, the request isn't universal enough as yet. I love this wonderful gourmet food with 22 teaspoons of sugar and salt and saturated trans fat. It's a nice day if you don't breathe. First it was poison in the food, then the air, and now they're out for the water. When the chef mixes all the ingredients together, banking, big business, and lobbyists, let's see what he comes up with. A privatization of the parks, privatization, schools for sale, privatization in air rights. They own everything, so you better hold on to your shirt, because they'll take the shirt off your back. we hear music with our ears.
It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog.
And see paintings with our eyes. And when we move, it's with our whole body.
So Tai Chi, and sort of a holistic therapy of sorts. The essential challenge of Tai Chi is to integrate your body so that it's functioning as one piece, as well as integrating what's happening in the external world. It's sort of like including the whole universe simultaneously. And the benefit of that is you're learning how to relax as you move through, you know, the various steps, and you're learning how to relax in motions. The sword form is yourself in relationship to an object. That object is not separate from you, it's part of you. So you and the sword are one. The energy that you're getting from relaxing into the ground has to come up through your body and out all the way to the end of the sword. It's sort of mystical.
If you want to play music in Washington Square Park, oh, you better bring along a ruler. Because you're not allowed to play music too close to the circle. It costs millions to relocate the circle with the art. Why are the rich people so mean? Because they are frustrated that the people wouldn't give up their food stamps and Social Security for them so they can pay for their third jet plane and 12th home.
If I were a rich man, all day long I'd bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. If I were a bitty rich,
You sit at a computer for 8 hours, and then you go home and you sit at your television for another 8 hours. And then you want some recreation, so you go to a bar and you sit at the bar for another 8 hours. Oh, perhaps they wanted it dark inside so they wouldn't have to see each other. People also pick noisy restaurants so they wouldn't have to hear each other.
What is America to me? The house I live in, the friends that I have found, the folks beyond the railroad, and the people all around, the worker and the farmer, the sailor on the sea, the men who built this country, that's America to me.
Michael Moore says, get rid of your depression pills and come out for a walk with me. We can walk on different streets and see things new for the first time. We are always hearing about so many deaths, but we can only mourn for one person. As you see, there are 4 brains. There's the right brain, the left brain, the super brain, and there is even the no brain. But I've invented a brand new brain. It's called the 5th brain. It deals with the children before they go to school. Children have curiosity, imagination, and creativity. Never.
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 Grow up.
The right brain is down. 5, 6, 7, 8, And the right brain is up! He's up! The battle goes on. Will anyone ever win?